What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. 17. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing. We did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born. 19. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about, like someone without a home. I am like an idiot, my mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breasts. 21. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. Should we welcome disgrace as a
So it's 14 phones. You can put out 14 shorts, 14 reels across 14 phones. So what is that? 4 times 4 is 132 videos. 16? No, I mean more than that. Okay, this is Canada John's meditation music poetry. Okay, this is Canada John's meditation music poetry. Go to johnforcongress.com. Thanks for being here.
It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. 27. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. 28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. 33. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus, it is truly great. 35. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy, but words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there's nothing to see. When you listen for it, there's nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. "37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythm."
Built more for a rugged man. I agree.
Well, that's the thing. Men have, before women dominated the workplace or took over the workplace, like men held all the positions in society, the overwhelming majority of positions in society. And when you're talking about this scrappy pay, like a lot of the reason why pay is trash is because we have allowed women, and because women don't demand higher wages. Women are less arguable, so they don't want to try to compete for higher wages or demand higher wages. That has kept the wages in the job market down. Prime example, back in the early 20th century, those women that operated the switchboards, like if you go and look at the documents of why they hired women, there was always women. There was rarely ever a male face in that position because they knew the women would work for cheaper. If they hired all women to do that job, they come out way less as far as expenses at the end of the year compared to hiring males because they knew men would keep the job market competitive and demand higher wages.
So what would happen if women stepped out of the economy altogether? I mean, and became the lowly workers. What would happen to the economy?
Yeah, good question. We'd go back to where we were before the women's suffrage movement, which is how we got here in the first place. Like for the majority of history, women have not been in the workplace. They just haven't. They haven't been in the working economy, and we did just fine for tens of thousands, if not millions of years. And then it seems like all of a sudden when we allow them in, shit starts getting worse. Wages stagnate, jobs go to shit. We allow them to vote. Next thing you know, we got shitty politicians passing policy based on emotion that trigger an appeal to women, and that's how they cast their vote. You talk to most women. Women don't even know the bare bones intricacies of how this country works. Joe B, most women don't even know what the selective service is. They don't even know what that list is.
Of course not. Most women don't even know where to go vote or how to register.
Right. So again, it's proving the point. Why are we allowing such a sloppy persona to have so much say and dictate how things are ran?
Well, there's a lot of men missing from the tables at home.
And when did that problem start? When women got into the picture or after? Before women got introduced into the mainstream picture or after?
I do not care because I live today and I worry about today because I see my kids, my grandkids, suffering, headed into a black hole.
And was there more of a black hole before women were introduced or after? You have to care about history in order to know. Yeah, in order to see what the trend is to find the problem.
I really don't. I learned from it, but I don't care about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the arguments that we have is that attitude. This is typically where we have problems because women don't have enough responsibility. They typically don't care about things that are important to be able to dissect and figure out what issues are to be able to problem solve. And that's another reason why, women aren't a likable candidate to have so much say so in how things are ran in this country.
Well, I wish more men would fucking step up. Not you, but there's a lot of weak men who do not want to lead. They want to sit down and wait for shit to come to them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Do you think men were weaker before 1900 or weaker after 1900?
Oh, after. Definitely. I agree with you on that point.
Yeah, and what happened around that time period?
I don't know. I wasn't around.
Women's suffrage.
I have no control. We have no control on our history. We can just hopefully learn from it. And what I'm learning today is a lot of women are single. A lot of men enjoy having multiple women, and we've got to get back on the old traditional one-on-one. And I don't think you agree with me, and that's okay, but that's what I
No, I agree with that. No, I agree with that. But okay, let me ask you this: in order to get to what you just suggested you needed to get to, what if men rolls up and say, "Yeah, fuck this woman. You're done voting. You have no say. So we're not supporting. We're firing all of you. Get back in the homes. Take care of that. You have no rights, no say. So you're just gonna follow the man and do what we did for millions of years." Would that be a viable solution to you to get the result that you just suggested?
No, not with 60% of women running their households without men. No, it's not going to work.
See, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is why, man. Like, you guys, there's no get with you.
You have to try to get the train on the track. So,
What?
Right.
What the hell are you talking about, KP?
just say, hey, look, get your butt back in the house. We're gonna take care of everything. You have to get your butt back in the house because
That last part is right on. We're going to take care of everything. Air quotes.
if you don't, we still gonna be off the damn tracks. So we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, but the best place to start is in love. LOVE.
What's going on, man? Yeah, see, like that's.
I just came across, you might even know about this. I just came across an article, and let me try to find it while I tell you about this shit. I just came across an article, right? It was this white lady in Chicago, and she wanted to be a damn security guard. And she wanted to be a security guard, so she put an ad. I'm gonna put this in the chat. You can't make it up, right? Helen Ford wanted to be a bodyguard in 1935, saying, "I'm better at fighting than at dishwashing." Chicago, Wednesday, April 5th. This is an article. 20-year-old joined her own company presented on the Chicago today with a tryout for who needs a bodyguard. She chose Chicago to launch a new course for woman time because she has heard bodyguards are common stories of women millionaires, labor leaders, and less alike. Miss Gordon is 5'5" weighs 138 pounds, and is all muscle, and has a torso like Bill Murray, demonstrated in the bathing. She told the one ad station she could knock out a man with one punch and thrilled the spot of a playing card with a revolver at 10 paces. The rest is history. I have to inspire the young lady to make a list. I'm better at fighting than at dishwashing. So far, no one has asked her to demonstrate. Like, this motherfucker shit reminds me of this
And that's what that's what I think it comes down to, bro. It's like every time I have this conversation, I'm asking majority one thing. It just comes down to like they just have no concept of that negative. Just like even though things are gonna get destroyed eventually, we still want to keep doing it. But it's like you understand, like it's gonna get destroyed. Everything's gonna go to shit. Women would rather sacrifice the entire ship instead of just throwing a few crew members over. They'd rather sacrifice everything, bro, just to be part of the gun club, just to have a feeling of being part of the clique, part of the crew, even though nothing's getting accomplished, bro. This is exactly. I can see now why, since we've introduced them to certain rights, shit has just gone downhill.
I think more to your point you said, I'm just looking for you have others we can get in. In math,
What's going on, brother? Good morning. Good morning.
This is the endless debate, Sig. You know, you have a show which is a strong black man brings women on stage and then they crash out. That's the show concept. And I salute it and applaud it. Well, I've witnessed it. You've all witnessed it. It's a concept, meaning that it's entertainment. It's really the Jerry Springer show in every room, you know, but the fact of the matter is, women do hold up half the sky. They accept none of the responsibility, none of the blame, none of the involvement. They deny everything. They are essentially free-floating spirit beings. And, you know, if a beautiful woman has ever come in your life, the best way to look at it is without any guilt, shame, because it's a visit from an angel. But never try to grab an angel's wings because you'll cut yourself. So just let them float around, do their thing. And that's why I say your show is brilliant, because it's in a way not accurate, and it's a troll. Because like I just described, the problem with men is that they try to hold on to these angel wings when you should just, you know, find them, feed them, fulfill them, and then forgive them.
Yeah, man. Really, what we saying? Yeah, man. This white man bless us with the white knowledge, man. That was brilliant, man. Yeah, I agree.
Bring up Francie.
Just let them float around.
Come on, Francis, what's going on?
That's to your point, real quick, candidate. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. That's what you get when you try to hold a woman accountable or tell the truth. You're going to get back shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
I agree. Holding a woman accountable. Yeah, sorry, Joby. Holding a woman accountable is the issue. Do not hold women accountable, and there will be no error in your, you know, game theory.
Well, I've noticed, man, that when women are held accountable, they immediately submit. Like, I've seen it a lot personally. I guess the best thing that's relatable for everybody to check out, watch Body Cam. You'll see these women talk so much shit, puff out their chest, I mean, just being assholes, dicks to these cops, right, for no reason. And then as soon as it comes time that they're not complying and the gloves come on and it's hands-on to get these women arrested and to subdue instantly, tears or crying, I'm in pain, you're hurting my wrist, I'm in my wrist. So, you know, so I've noticed a consistent pattern that women, when they're under the impression there's no accountability or no consequences, they will show their ass. They're the biggest fucking assholes on this planet. But then when there's an iron fist looming above their head, they know, hey, Smackdown's coming. It's gonna hurt. So we're painful. Don't just do what we need to do. They're fucking compliant. So all it's doing is convincing me that, you know, we need to get back to a state where, just like children, you let your kid run amok. He's gonna run the fucking show, but contribute absolutely nothing to that house of chaos and destruction. So you gotta kind of, you know, rule with the firm fist and say, no, we ain't fucking playing that. I've noticed a consistent pattern. They will comply. So I think we need to start going back to that old school way, man. I think the residents are running the asylum at this point, bro, and there's no justified reason for it. I just can't find it. What's going on, Thomas? What's going on, Grant's book?
Sig, you're discounting the cell phone. The cell phone is what gives everyone true liberation or freedom, and that genie's out that bottle, and you can't put women back to a position where we would like to have them because of the cell phone. The cell phone gives them freedom of communication, freedom of movement, freedom of thought, everything. And so you cannot take it away. That genie's gone. That time in American history and human history is over forever. Women have achieved full liberation.
Candidate, we need to stop rubbing that lamp. How about that?
Well,
I have my cell phone. I will turn it over.
the cell phone is a prison. Women and men too. We're all genies out the bottle. So I'm just saying, it's not about putting the genie back in the bottle. It's all about self-mastery, you know, personal development, because then you won't fall for all these tricks and games that these, you know, pimps and hoes play.
So I got a question. Let's see, Marshall. I know you said this for a minute. So, Marshall, do you think we should be allowed to vote? And if so, why? And if not, then why?
I'll hold that question if he doesn't answer. I want to hear his answer.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get back to him. Miss France, welcome to the stage. You want to take a stab at that question? Do you think women should be able to vote? If so, why? If not, why?
Wow, man, this is a heavy subject. I think that yes. Although I think that there should be, I think that we need more accountability with men and women to vote. You know, I think that, I mean, I'm always going to probably vote with Kevin, right? He's my husband, and he's smarter than I am. And I'm always probably going to vote with him. But, you know, but all women aren't like that, though. Some women will just vote against their husbands or their partners just to do that, you know. But I also have degrees in history, political science, I have a master's degree, I'm an educated woman. Even though I'm submissive and I'm a traditional woman, I'm very smart. My vote counts. So, but I think that, you know, there should be, and I'm trying to sit here and think, you know, in high school maybe, or maybe a simple test, like, you know, like you have to take to be a citizen of the United States, like a simple test to show that you kind of know what's going on. But I think that should be true for men too, because I'm smarter than a lot of men. Yeah, so very good question. I don't think that, like KP said, you're not going to be able to put that genie back. I don't think that you're going to be able to reverse the vote. So then the question is like, how do we?
I think you got a phone call.
Vote as a conservative woman. You're just going to vote like your husband does. He's just going to tell you what to do, and that's not true. Kevin would never tell me how to vote. But because I'm traditional, you know, I'm probably always going to vote like him. I didn't answer the question, I know, because I'm grappling with it.
So pretty much what you just said is, even though more than likely I'm gonna vote in a line with my husband, I just want the right to have to say so anytime I want to buck against something.
Well,
That's
I
what
mean,
I
that's if he was an idiot.
I want to sit to the side just in case.
Sid,
Hold on, real quick, Brent.
if he were an idiot,
Brent,
Yeah.
Brent, because I think you made a good point. Set a title. I don't think women should be able to vote unless they are married and they're voting with their husband. If you're not married voting with your husband, you can't vote.
I was just about to bring that up. Like you took that words out of my mouth. Because here's my thing. I kind of think that the reason why I think most women should not vote is because of the fact that most women are single issue voters, abortion. That's it. They
Right.
Like to kill babies. So I'm just like, nothing the fuck out of here.
sure.
But that is an interesting idea. If you are, and that's if you're married. If you are married, okay, and you're willing to vote with your husband to help try to put in office the person that he believes is best for the country, then I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But the problem is that, again, like I said, most of these women are single issue voters, and a lot of these women don't really give a fuck about anything else besides
ASMR sound.
I guarantee that probably most of you guys, if you knew me, and Sig knows me, and KP, Thomas, you know, you guys know me. Most of you probably would rather me vote than a lot of the idiots that come in here that are men. I mean, not that there's a lot of idiots, but there's some, you know, a couple. So, you know, I mean, I think you got to kind of think about that too. Is
Real quick, Francie, that's what we were talking about. Is that based on the link above, that gives a bunch of stat breakdowns based on gender and voting. There's 10 million more women voters than there are men voters in this country. And then historically, women have overwhelmingly voted for Democrat politicians. And you know, us being more of a conservative group on this app, we understand that Democrat policies, for the most part, not all, for the most part, are destructive to the long-term sustainment of this country. So again, just because there's a few, the way that would favor this country more, and you know, take care of a lot of the solutions women complain about today. You know, one of them on the stage was all, you know, men are acting like bitches nowadays. You know, why would the small handful of women that do vote smartly, why would we keep it around and overwhelmingly we're getting a net negative? They're voting for destructive policies and
Yeah,
politicians.
I agree. I mean, and the point about, you know, the abortion and voting on this one issue, I mean, I think that is so true. And, you know, I got called on a poll after the last election. It was in the evening. We had already voted, and they wanted to talk to me. And it was funny because the questions they were set up in a way to make me seem like I was a wealthy white soccer mother. And, you know, I guess maybe they had my address. I lived in the suburbs. I lived in a very nice house. And, you know, and I was like, you know, I'm not a soccer mother. No, I'm not this. I'm not that. You know, but they were trying to put me into this, you know, category so they could say, she voted for Trump and this is why.
What do you think of my debate
was
outfit?
so funny. And, of course, I had to mess with the pollster. But again, like, you know, like I have a really big background in political science and economics, and, you know, I'm a smart girl. And so, but again, like, here's the question, Sid.
No, because hold on, real quick, before you ask, listen to what you, and this is what we be getting from all of them. It's like, oh, you know, I'm a smart girl, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, that's one of the problems. Y'all can only look through a lens of yourself. God, it's very hard for you guys, I notice.
Listen to me.
Look through, but what I notice a pattern is, Francie, is that with women, it's hard for you guys to look through a broad filter. Guys are so narrow and so self-absorbed and self-focused. And I think that's why a lot of the argument comes from, well, because me, I'm not like the rest of these dumb, retarded bitches.
Right.
Therefore, we should let 80% of the dumb, retarded bitches still have a say. So just because me, I'm not like the rest of them. And it's like, but it's still, again, you're still choosing a company that only 10% of the parachutes deploy. Anybody would say that's fucking crazy. You don't choose a parachute company that has a 10% shot of you surviving that jump. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I think you'll like this answer because I was thinking about it. It just kind of hit me. And I was thinking, which would be more important to me? Which would I choose? And if I were going to choose to vote based on my experience, my education, or if I were going to vote based on my religious point of view, my feelings about women and being submissive, being a traditional wife, I would have to go with voting with Kevin and voting as he votes, because that to me, as far as my role in the home and as a godly woman, that to me would come first over my intelligence, which actually makes me even more intelligent. I'll land on that one.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. And then the next question is, if most women are going to vote, even if we said, okay, women can only vote as long as they vote alongside their husband, well, we still wouldn't have to vote, which would be wasting time and ballots and hiring more people to process all those additional days of votes. Like, it still would be a net negative. All you're going to do is vote alongside your husband. Well, then just let your husband's voice speak. And then we save a lot of taxpayer money and a lot of time.
Fair enough. My guy Beaver mentioned, he said, basically, how can you tax women while not letting them vote? Very interesting question. The problem to me, though, is that women don't got to sign up for the service, so they don't have skin in the game. So since they don't have skin in the game, the fact that we tax them to me is irrelevant, because they're not the ones that, if some shit popped off and the guy hits the red button and says we're going to war, then we're the ones that are going to end up being drafted. So why should we tolerate the aspect of allowing them to be able to decide whether or not, we're going to go have to throw our sons away, in some kind of war, when they don't have to, put themselves in a position of being destroyed but they get to vote whether or not we get to go fight stupid war.
That's a great point. And Thomas, I would also say that
saw women who were traditional and were homemakers. You saw us voting with her. Would that sway women who couldn't vote? Would it sway women to want a traditional home, to be, saying, wow, like, look, she's got a nice house, a husband who provides for her, and she needs to marry. You have to wonder how that might affect things. I don't know.
Well, let me say this to say really quick. That's what I was going to say. So, back to your point about women voting and it not mattering if you're going to vote with a husband. Now that I think about it, actually it could benefit because that's more than one vote. So let's just say that you got a group of Democrats and a group of Republicans, right? And the Republicans that have their wives voting with them are getting double the vote. So we're getting double the capacity of votes to go towards the candidate that we may want. Because the reality is, we still got a lot of, bitch-made niggas out here who basically wanted to put Kamala Harris in the White House. A lot of niggas, I would say white niggas too, wanted to put Kamala Harris in the White House.
So that white man for Harris or whatever.
Yeah. So low testosterone ass niggas. But so that's my thing. So what are your thoughts on that?
So and that kind of makes sense. So as I'm processing what you're saying, Thomas, most of these beta dudes ain't gonna find a white that would vote for Harris or something. So therefore, incorporating the wives would double the vote against these dudes who are more than likely gonna be single because they're betas. Attach yourself to a guy like that for long term, lifetime commitment. So I would say if it was that strategy, then we overwhelmingly dominate. But here's the thing I'm gonna say: it's still a waste of time because when you look at how men have voted historically, men overwhelmingly have voted conservative Republican, historically, hands down, every single time. So even with that, even if we took these women out of the equation, period, and just had the men vote, even with the veil made it sprinkled in, we would overwhelmingly vote conservative anyway. So no matter how you put it, because men are more consistent with right-leaning voting, we would still have conservative policies. And then too, I think taking the women out of the picture, this would eliminate the problem that women are having with weak men running around now. Problem that they didn't have 80 plus, 90 plus years ago. So I think that would eliminate that problem because men are the ones voting for policies. Men are the ones creating the policies. We're going to gear it towards how men think. We're going to gear it more towards a tough love approach versus a sympathetic, bleeding heart approach, which is how most women vote. So I think the policies, the social expectations will tighten up, and more men will start becoming more masculine because we've killed that female influence that has been weakening men for the past century. So.
They want us to bring some girl up here, bro.
Yeah, come on up. Any reasons like that?
I mean, you can talk about it all day long, but nothing will change by coming on a social audio chat and just even accurately describing the situation. So, that's why I say you have like a formatted show, but we have yet to have the crash out appear.
What do you mean?
Just wait. Okay.
Oh, I'm patient.
Yeah, I mean,
It's coming.
I'm laughing this up because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, though, candidate, and I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, this is a small audience, and that's the thing. This is like my goal isn't to have a show or it's nothing like that. I just, I'm at Sam's Club now, picking up some shit for the house. So I'm just bored as fuck. I'm like, hey, this thought crossed my mind. I'm interested to hear what other people have to say about it, what they think about it, and it's just the exchange of ideas. So when each person goes out and has this conversation outside the clubhouse, they present new ideas to other people, and that's how you kind of generate the new idea thought process. So that's kind of how I look at a candidate. Not as fast as maybe someone that's got a huge following and an actual syndicated platform that reaches hundreds of thousands, millions of people, but it's a slower method, but still it's the exchange of thoughts and new ideas.
Well, imagine if.
Ari, don't whisper in the chat, man. Come to stage, have a conversation. Don't bitch out in the chat, bro. Come on up.
Well, hopefully, the thing is, Trump can't move hard enough or fast enough to rectify the problem in the government, in the military, in all the branches. And there is a DEI problem in the U.S. government, of really, I mean, hopefully they're cleaning house as hard as humanly possible. I think this shutdown is the greatest thing that has happened in recent history. Shut it down and keep it down, because, the fact of the matter is, we the people have taken on the tax burden for the Fortune 500 for far too long. The wealth creation, it's not just in the United States. You have to get outside of this bubble to understand the problem of debt and borrowing and spending. It's not just an American problem, it is a European problem, it's a Chinese problem, it's an everywhere problem because it's fully coordinated. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Federal Reserve is a global banking cartel that you and I, if you're not already sucking on that, delicious spigot of money, are out of the loop. We're not in the club. So we could complain about women all we want, but women also work at these institutions. They control a large swath of our borrowed dollars. And Democrats and women together form the most toxic alignment in political theory, in cultural theory, in financial theory. Because as we all have just discussed, women can be completely supra irrational, totally vindictive, completely delusional, alcoholics, pill poppers, tranny loving, LGBTQ, promoting, everything which results in a failed society, in a broken down culture, and a civilization which is eroding because of the lack of morality and ethics and virtue and really integrity of women in our society in America.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is coming apart. And I mean, when you're talking about that, right? So that's that. If you're talking about dead John, what group of people, men or women, feel the most dead? You know, it's not even close, bro. But go ahead. Yeah, it's women. Women own the majority of debt in this country. You look at, we haven't been in debt for a long time, bro. We actually carried a balanced budget for the majority of our existence. It's just recently that we started going ham and just creating all this fucking debt. And again, notice all the negative things that have happened in this country. I'm not saying correlation is causation, but my spidey senses are definitely tingling when it's like all the worst shit that we complain about in this country that has literally put this country on fucking on life support. It's been since we've allowed women to have a say and have a fucking voice, man. I'm just like, yeah, men have had our problems, but the thing is, it is different when the person who creates everything causes problems. Like, it's not the same if I decide to destroy the inside of my home as if a stranger came in and destroyed the inside of my home, right? It is different. It's like, hey, it's my home, I paid for this shit, so if I want to destroy it, I want to destroy it. I caused it, but I paid for it. But someone else who doesn't contribute and they come in and start destroying your shit, like, you're ready to fucking, you're ready to fucking do some damage, man, so.
Okay, case in point. Okay, so if I'm wrong about this, I will send everybody on stage a Starbucks gift card, okay? But it'll be a bit before we'll know whether I'm right. Here's my point. That I don't want to change the subject, but just listen. Candace Owens, okay? She has just gone completely apeshit, okay? And somebody was talking about women just kind of going crazy, okay? I immediately thought about Candace. Now, what's going on with Candace? She's a brilliant woman. When she was okay, she was wonderful. She was great. Okay, what I think that is going on with her is I think she's suffering from what we call postpartum psychosis, which is very rare. And I've seen lots and lots of cases of postpartum depression in my career. Only one case of postpartum psychosis, and I really do think that Candace has this. Now, what else do I think? I think that she has bipolar disorder, which usually comes out in your late 20s, mid to late 20s. So having 4 children in her 20s, I think she's got a predisposition to bipolar disorder. She's in what we call a manic state, like you've heard of manic depression. So she is just all over the place, but she's causing destruction. I mean, she is really causing a lot of problems. And her beta husband, the Brit, I know he knows it, but she's such a strong personality. He's not reining her in. She needs help. She needs to be on meds. And I don't know how far it'll go. So mark my words that it will eventually come out that she has this and she needs to be treated for it. And if I'm wrong, I will send each one of you guys, just hunt me down. I will send you guys a Starbucks gift card.
What happened? What does she do now? Something just happened?
Well, I mean, right now, she is reading from the Quran and putting curses on people who want to go to God.
Yo, what?
Yeah.
Putting curses on people.
So she was an evangelical Christian, right? Then now she's converted to Catholicism, and now she's reading from the Quran. So to her audience, and if you don't know the Quran, if you don't catch it, you think she's reading from the Bible, but she's reading from the Quran. And so she's got 4 million subscribers. You think about how many people she's influencing. And as a Christian, which I am, I'm thinking she's thousands and thousands of people she's leading to the gates of hell. And somebody needs to stop her, but who's going to stop her? Unless it's her.
Yeah, but Francie, you're getting taken in by her. She is essentially a live streamer who creates content, and the more people that watch her, the longer that they watch her, the more money she makes. So, give a girl a break. She's only making $8 million this year.
No, I'm actually just watching her from a clinical point of view because, that's what I do for a living is study behavior. So I'm just kind of watching her that way and just feeling a lot of compassion for her. But she's either evil or she is sick. And I'm going to say that she's sick.
Well, the top OnlyFans girl made $80 million last year, $30,000 an hour. So, I mean, is she sick or is her audience sick? You tell me, Francie.
She might be really smart. I don't know.
Yeah, niggas are doomed, bro. Because it's all niggas and majority married niggas that are paying for this shit. So niggas are doomed. On a slightly different topic, I don't mean to derail, guys, but I just thought this was hilarious. Our boy Donald Trump just came out and said, a huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned that King was trying to take my place. But thanks to your all tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job. This dude is a
I'm like, hey, this all crossed my mind. I'm interested to hear what other people have to say about it, what they think about it. And it's just an exchange of ideas. So when each person goes out and has this conversation outside the clubhouse, they present ideas to other people. And that's how you kind of generate the new idea thought process. So that's kind of how I look at it. Not as fast as maybe someone that's got, a huge following and an actual syndicated platform that reaches hundreds of thousands, millions of people. But, it's a slower method, but still, it's the exchange of thoughts of who I get it. Well, imagine if... all right, don't wait for the chat, man. Come say any time of conversation. Don't be chopping in the chat, bro.
Well, hopefully, the thing is, Trump can't move hard enough or fast enough to rectify the problem in the government, in the military, in all the branches. And there is a DEI problem in the U.S. government hopefully they're cleaning house as hard as humanly possible. I think this shutdown is the greatest thing that has happened in recent history. Shut it down and keep it down because, the fact of the matter is we the people have taken on the tax burden for the Fortune 500 for far too long. The wealth creation redemption, it's not just in the United States. You have to get outside of this bubble to understand the problem of debt and borrowing and spending. It's not just an American problem. It is a European problem. It's a Chinese problem. It's an everywhere problem because it's fully coordinated. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Federal Reserve is a global banking cartel that you and I, if you're not already sucking on that, delicious spigot of money, are out of the loop. We're not in the club. So we can complain about women all we want, but women also work at these institutions. They control a large swath of our borrowed dollars. And Democrats and women together form the most toxic alignment in political theory, in cultural theory, in financial theory, because as we all have just discussed, women can be completely super irrational, totally vindictive, completely delusional, alcoholics, pill poppers, tranny-loving, LGBTQ, promoting, everything which results in a failed society, in a broken down culture, and a civilization which is eroding because of the lack of morality and ethics and virtue and really integrity of women in our society in America.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, this talk across the line. I'm interested to hear what other people have to say about it, what they think about it.
And cherish me. If it's like that, then I'm good with it. But if it would get to the point where I had no autonomy, no rights, that's a different story. That's whenever I was stepping in his sleep.
So let's look. Back to the topic though.
Most men treat our wives like our BMW or Mercedes. We're gonna treasure you. We're not gonna sit there and punch in the face and all that shit. No. Because we have to sleep, we have to eat. Hell no.
Oh, hell no.
You're old school. You're a sweetheart. But I have seen. But if a girl gets out of, if a lady gets out of line in here, you sure do put her in her place, and I love it.
We can say the same thing back to you, friends. You different from these women, so you might be excited to be a wife and actually,
Oh, hell no.
and cultivate a home life for those kids and grow up to be productive citizens of society. But a lot of these bitches, they want to have fun. They literally just want to have fun and spend money. They don't want responsibility. They just want fun. They want activity. They want field trips and shit.
Oh,
So back to the topic at hand. What do you guys think about, like, for example, the New York election? All right, Maldani. Who do you think's responsible for Maldani? Women or men? When it comes to voting.
softies.
Yeah, it's both, but again, the men that are voting. I mean, I say it's primarily women because the men who vote for them, for dudes like that, primarily exert what? Do we say masculine energy or feminine estrogen? Estrogen. So it still goes back down to the female side, bro.
These are these dudes that fucking probably eat like 6 blocks of soy every fucking morning.
And that's the other thing too. They just on that point, Tom. It's like, again, Joe B, when you were complaining about these men are soft, I get it, but again, are those men more? Do we consider those men being more masculine or more feminine? It's always more feminine. So even the women, they're sick of the feminine nature, the female nature, the female psyche. Because they can't stand men that act like them. So when it comes down to like the fingers always point back to the fucking female nature, man.
So they're perfect. Following your train.
But Sig, there are superstars.
But in the wrong times,
difference is, Joby, is that if the men create a problem, the men can clean it up. Like the example I gave earlier, it's different. If you crash your own car, it's different. If someone rams their car into your car, you're gonna feel a different type of way. Like you're gonna be a little more pissed that someone crashed into your shit and ruined your car versus if you were at fault. So when you're the one that creates it, then it's really less of an issue for you to clean up whatever mess you created when you're the one responsible for cleaning it up. And that's all we're saying. It's just that, we got some dumbass men, but again, men have built this shit, so we caused a little bit of mayhem in the process, but we're the ones that ultimately clean it up. Then it's a moot point.
There's a 1%.
They don't create shit or contribute to shit, so it's different when they come in and fuck shit up. They didn't create it, what they fucked up, and then they ain't got to clean the mess that they created.
See, there's a 1% in women though. There's a 1% in men. Those are the superstars amongst the genders. But I would put forth that in the female population, there are no superstars that were not raised by supermen. I think it takes a super father to raise a super daughter or a super woman.
100%. Right on.
Sure, but again, for example, Joby, I know you saw that commercial, Dudes for Harris, right? And when you looked at those men, did you think that men were perfect?
I never think any of us perfect.
Again, like a lot of these niggas the bitch man. And again, to candidates' point, when we talk about OnlyFans, like then I know, and I've said this before, even though like I be like on the throats of some of these chicks out here, I go hard to pain on these niggas too, because these niggas are responsible. I just gotta look at OnlyFans. The reason why these women feel like they get like, for example, when a girl starts talking reckless, so we have to discuss this, it's because they know that they feel that men are going to protect her from an asshole. But again, I'm not condoning in any capacity, whooping a girl's ass. I'm just saying where that confidence comes from is the protection of other men that they think are going to be there to.
That's what verbal ass. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it comes to the aspect of actual men taking on responsibility, what's going on, Isaac? Taking on responsibility for a lot of this shit. I play niggas because what niggas are the dudes. The men are the ones that put women in these positions of power and put women in these positions just to act the ass because again they just want to be able to smash. That's all this shit is, at least in my opinion. They want to be able to sit back and have these that's all they crave.
I have a question for the room, for the men. So like, I watch a lot of Kevin Samuels, and when he talks about high value men, we know that, because I was standing down in the chat, she made me think of this, marry a rich man, right? And I was lucky enough to marry a guy who is a high value guy. You would never know it. He looks ridiculous half the time. But anyway, he doesn't dress
That's
nice.
crazy.
He drives an old car, but we are very well off. So, but my question is Kevin Samuels, he talks to all these women and they all want high value men, meaning that they have lots of money. And they all think that they would qualify for a high value man. They think they're all 8s or 9s.
The same group of people that we allow to vote, Francie, but keep going, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to know is what do you guys look for when you're looking for a woman, and what do you think would qualify a woman to be able to land a high value man?
First of all, I look for a girl that's broke and busted and works at CVS and Popeyes. That's my barometer. That's all I'm looking for.
If you're lucky, they can fix the
Hey, I want to give a disclaimer real quick. She brought up The Godfather, but I want to bring up a disclaimer. Right? I don't know about C&K and Thomas. I will not be tolerating no Godfather slander. So I know the man's name came up, but don't piss me off.
Said put some spec on it, right? Put some spec on his name. I would say, Francie, you know me, number one thing I'm looking for is submissiveness. Looks, all that other shit is back burned. You can look as good as you want to. You got the best pussy on the whole planet, but if you can't submit, follow on, it's a no-go. So that's number one. And then I'll figure everything else out after. We're talking about long-term, trying to build a family. And this the same group of people are requesting they want a leader, but at the same time, it's weird to me. They want to run the show and don't want to follow the leader that they want. They claim they want. Then it's going to be problems, man. So I think all men, that's the first thing men should look for is submission, man. If they're looking for something serious, now you're out here just trying to get your dick wet, clubbing, partying, traveling, hanging out. That's one thing.
Hey, look, and wait, see, if they don't like that word, you know what the other word of Godfather said?
What's that? What's that? Yeah,
That's
submission.
cooperation. Yeah,
That's right.
and that's funny because yesterday, Sid, when we were in Serendipity's room, we were talking about this, and someone said something, and a guy said, "We don't care about your job. We don't care how much money you have. We don't care that you have a degree. We No said, like, we want cooperation and submissive. Like, that's not what we want." And I think a lot of women miss the mark on that. I think they think that
Because they're
right?
dumb, they're stupid, they're fucking retarded, and they're again going back to the topic. They're allowed to vote. Again, everything you're describing, this is a group of people we allowed to have a fucking prominent voice in our country, bro. This is crazy.
Well, don't you
It's
think a lot of
crazy.
it
I
is
will tell you.
mothers?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Kitty.
No, go ahead.
Well,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
say
I go crazy. I'll go ahead, Francis.
mothers and need to teach their daughters how to keep a home, how to cook. See, that's not happening anymore because the mothers
That's
are
a
out.
damn sure.
That is the big thing, is if you have a mom or a grandmother who teaches you how to be a submissive woman, I think we could get back to that. But right now, it's not like that because moms are having to work.
Well, again, see, that's where I think a lot of the disconnect is. Because, for example, I know I talk a lot of shit. I understand that this economy is kind of rough on niggas. I get it. Everybody's not going to be making 6 figures. Everybody's not going to be making 7 figures, okay? I understand that. But my biggest push to young brothers trying to get theirs out the mud, I'm like, you should never be comfortable going 50-50. Never. Because that builds complacency. So I always try to push brothers to at least go 60-40, my nigga. Please. Okay? Because you want to continue to push and you want your girl to be cooperative or submissive, good out there and show her that you're able to take care of it. For example, I don't have any kids. I have sisters and I have nieces. But if I had a daughter, I would make sure that when I'm vetting the men, because I am going to vet the men. If I ever have a daughter, I'm going to vet the men she deals with 1,000%. That she's going to make sure she understands, okay, that you should not be taking on the burden of this situation. Okay, now I understand shit happens, I get it, that's exceptions to the rule, alright? But you should not be going into this relationship talking about something, I'm going to support this nigga until his rap here, gets off. Like, nah, fuck all that.
Yeah, so I'm going to give my real answer now.
What's your real answer, Alan? Go ahead.
Well, actually, the first one was my real too, but I'll pound on that. Yeah, have you heard the expression, don't argue in front of the kids? The point is that the kids don't see the parents arguing. And more important, they don't see the mother being an uppity, challenging the father in front of the kids. So the kids see a unified front, number one. And number two, the kids learn mommy does what daddy says. Now, behind closed doors, that's a different story. Mom might be an absolute challenging who's not submissive at all, but the kids is a hierarchy. That's why white people don't talk to their kids to see how things are supposed to be. Now, are we finding, let me see how I can put this in my best liberal woke verbiage. Are we finding that the racially marginalized minority communities are engaging in those same kinds of activities? I think the answer might be no. So I gotta go. I think I'm waiting for somebody to show up here. I'll be back.
Sure. I think that's definitely very important. That you should not have, your significant other should not be trying to go head to head with me. Not even just in general, but especially not in front of the kids. Okay. There should never become a dick measuring contest. Period. That shit is unacceptable. But again, I was saying bringing this up in another room, and I don't know how you brothers on stage feel about this. And I brought up the aspect that I had a classmate that's brought this up to me, but I see a lot of guys say this shit. You guys seen those memes online where it has it's usually a Hispanic chick, where she's just they always bring in an attractive Hispanic girl, and they'll have the girl just going completely off, acting completely out of pocket in front of their man, right? Just acting crazy. And the comments are full of, yeah, that's what I want, I can fix her and things like that and so forth. And it lets me know, I'm like, these niggas probably have not dealt with women at all, and they especially haven't dealt with a girl like that. Okay? That shit is only cute for online purposes. In real life, that shit is not cute. Okay? That shit is a goddamn headache. There's nothing fun or cute about that shit whatsoever. That behavior, I don't give a fuck who it's coming from. It's never cute. And the only men that find that shit cute, in my opinion, are motherfuckers that haven't dealt with women.
What's going on, man? Welcome to the stage. Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, everyone?
Chilling. What's going on?
Chilling. Hey.
So, man, why should women be, quote, allowed, end quote, to vote?
I'm just listening. I'm not sure if I have the strength for this room today.
There you go.
I'm going to take a 5-hour energy drink, and I'll come back.
Did you know that it's actually illegal to wear a bikini in the Maldives? This is because the Maldives is an Islamic country, and did you know that it's actually illegal to wear a bikini in the Maldives? This is because...
I love
Jesus, you listen to our government. We will allow this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And white men allow me to sit in that femininity. Thank you, white men.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, old President Anglo-Saxon white dude.
Listen, somebody gotta do it. As long as they take care of you, somebody gotta do it. More power to the niggas.
Right? No, we love our white people, man. We love white people around here.
You don't say that shit too loud, nigga. There might be some niggas in the bushes listening and recording.
Oh, bro, the first Clubhouse season 1, 2, bro, when I was making 4th of July, love white Americans, thank you white. Oh man, niggas coming in hot, bro. They were coming in hot, man. Yo, you thought coon was the only word in the English language, bro.
Yo, check your text, man.
Okay, I'm driving right now, bro. So give me a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Coon, you remember that shit from back in our old YouTube days.
I mean, again, niggas, here's the thing, man. I'm willing to reset my vote. If it meant black people could be allowed to vote, I willingly give up my vote. See, here's the difference between that. I can't that niggas vote when they're a hindrance to the progress of this country. Okay. I'm not gonna say well, because and therefore we should allow the rest of the 90% of fucking retards to steer this country off the fucking tracks. As a man, I can say, hey, even though it might take away my vote, I know niggas are dumb shit. So if it means niggas can't vote, hey, I'm willing to give up my vote. If it means a better business country and voters start voting in a better direction, let's do it, man. So I was like, yeah, niggas, women, man. Repeal the 19, what is it, the 14 or 15 amendment? I think it's blacks are right now. Which one? Is it the 14? Yeah, either way, whatever one of those fucking amendments, man, where they allow niggas to fucking vote, man, you gotta take that shit back. Let the white people do their white thing, man. They've been doing it right all these years.
I'd like to do something white in the room and read a love poem about women. It's only 40 seconds long.
Well, niggas were doing that in the 90s with this R&B. This is why niggas are fucked up now. Talking about someone who saved you, give you the moon and the stars and shit. This is like, niggas fucked up now.
This is called Rose of the World. It's very quick. Okay, this is a meditation as well. So take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. Oh, rose, oh, roses, far above in the garden of God's roses. Sorrowless, thornless, passionate rose that lies full in the flood of its own sympathies and makes my life one tune that curls and closes on its own self-delight. A circle, never a line. Safe from all wind, secured in its own pleasure house, confined, mistress of all its moods, matchless, serene, and sacred amplitudes of its own royal rapture, deaf and blind to aught but its own mastery of song and light, shown ever as silence in deep night, secret as death and final. Let me long, never again for aught. This great delight involves me, weaves me in its pattern of bliss, seals me with its own kiss, draws me to thee with every dream that glows, poet, each word, maiden, each burden of snows extending beyond sunset, beyond dawn. O rose inviolate, utterly withdrawn in the truth, for this is truth, love knows. Ah, rose of the world, rose, rose!
Say, do you remember what Ocean and Queen stood for?
Yeah, complete opposite of niggas.
Absolutely. Complete opposite of niggas.
When was that written, candidate?
It was read right now. Oh, Rose! Rose!
Did you write it?
No, I read it.
I didn't hear you.
When was the last time you got laid?
I don't know how many hours ago was it.
Men only,
8 hours ago?
Men only write poetry to women when they're not. They start getting it. Poetry goes away. Then it becomes, oh Rose, do me Rose, yeah, turn around, Rose, Rose.
And meanwhile, the women ain't drank poetry to are fucking using the rose.
Yeah, I didn't write that. But I would say reading it is what is going to solve the problem. Poetry is a great place to be because it's joy. And so many people, their psyche, their emotional attitude, their disposition, their character, their personality, they're not modifying it with poetry or prose or intelligence. It's TikTok and Instagram and Facebook doom scrolling feeds, lurched over zombies that sit, in the leg extender for 15 minutes fat. So, get moving, get shaking, get with poetry. This app, if you're not using it, it's using you. So create and distribute. Don't consume. It's a creator's world.
I love poetry. It's very hot.
You know what's even better? Have sex with a woman, but don't shoot your load.
Yes, sir.
That will drive her crazy. And don't be mean about it though. You can't be like ha 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 ha. You
gonna stop doing certain kind of work.
If you can show her that you can control even that, then then that's something.
I had a girl out in Cleveland. She was Mexican. Actually, now that I think about it, she was Mexican. But anyways, yeah, she was like, she had a I believe it was a fetish, and like she just wanted like niggas to come inside of her, bro. Like, and so it was like she got off on niggas finishing inside of her. So I was like, so when she asked like, yeah, she said, so she asked me this, did I come? And I was like, nah, not yet. And she was like, well, hurry up. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, all right. I've never heard that one before. I mean, are you hurt? Are you okay? Is everything good? You sore? What the fuck's going on? But she was like, it wasn't even about that. She just like, the whole thing was like getting me to that point of fucking ejaculating. That was her thing. She was just completely turned on by that.
Steady, what do you think?
See, I ain't gonna lie to you. See, I'm scared of women like that. I'm scared.
When they want the club shot up?
Yeah, I'm scared of women like that. I'm blinking twice.
Man, come at me, daddy. Listen. Most niggas will sit back and say, fuck the police and empty the clip, bro.
See, pull it over. I should pull up. I don't care. I'm over there.
I do. I care a lot.
I will shoot this motherfucker up.
Sounds like a way to pay child support for about 18 years. I don't know.
Hey, KC, look at my PCR. There you go. Hold on. I'm trying to find the button. Look, here we go.
Niggas get
Look at this poetry hypnosis. What up, Margus? This is Candidate John. We are reading poetry. Go to johnforcongress.com, like this video, share, subscribe, leave a comment. This is a YouTube Clubhouse exclusive. This poem is called The Cannibals. All night, no change, no whisper. Scarce breath, but lips closed hard upon the cup of death to drain its sweetest poison. Scarce a sigh beats the dead hours out. Scarce a melody, measured pulses quickened with the blood. That desire which pours its deadly flood through soul and shaken body. Scarce a thought, but sends through spirit most divinely wrought. To perfect feeling, only through the lips. Electric ardor kindles, flashes, slips. Through all the circle to her lips again. Thence unwavering flies the mind. To drain all pleasure in one draught, no whispered sigh, No change in breast, love's poshed perfectly. Once gained, we change no more. The fever grows hotter or cooler as the night wind blows. Fresh gusts of passion on the outer gate. But we, in waves of frenzy, concentrate our thirsty mouths on that hot drinking cup, whence we may never suck the nectar cup, too often or too hard. Fresh fire invades our furious veins. The unquiet shades of night makes noises in the darkened room. Yet did I raise my head throughout the gloom, I might behold thine eyes as red as fire, tigress maddened, supreme desire. White arms that clasp me, fervent breast that glides, an eager snake about my breast and sides. Teeth keen to bite, red tongue that never tires, and lips ensanguined with unfed desires. A very beast of prey, hot hands caress, and violent breath that surfeits not excess, but raise no head. I know thee, breast and thigh, lips, hair, and eyes, and mouth, I will not die. But thou come with me o'er the gate of death, so blood and body furious with breath that pants through foaming kisses. Let us stay, gripped hard together, to kiss life away. Mouths drowned in murder, never satiate, kissing away the hard decrees of fate, kissing insatiable in mad desire, kisses whose agony may never tire, kissing the gates of hell, the sword of God, each unto each, a serpent or a rod, a well of wine and fire, each unto each, whose lips are fain convulsively to reach high heaven, a deeper hell. The sword of God, whose lips are fain convulsively to reach a higher heaven, a deeper hell. Ah, a day so soon to dawn, delight to snatch away. Damned day, whose sunlight finds us as with wine, drunken with lust, made manifest divine, devils of darkness, servants unto hell. The cannibals. All night no change, no whisper. Skin test, breath, lips closed up. Okay, hope you're enjoying Aurora.
Hello, darling.
Hello. Love. Love. L-O-V-E.
Oh,
L-O-V-E.
he's such a troll.
Love. 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 L-O-V-E. L-O-V-E. But I need money. I need money. I need money. M-O-N-E. M-O-N-E.
Oh, how the trees of luck.
L-O-V-E. L-O-V-E.
Straight exchange is such a disappointment.
L-O-V-E. M-O-N-E-Y.
Unquestioning passion. As if to say why in this world would you do it that way?
How many people have you trolled today?
Money.
Apparently carnage is all that people want to see.
Crash out.
Crash outs. Silence. Peace. Those things. Oh, heavens no. I have a little duckling. See? See down in the audience?
LOVE? MONEY?
No, I've moved past both. I don't even know where those things move past both. Agape. Filio.
LOVE?
LOVE.
Okay, that poem is called The Cannibals. And we are about halfway through. And then we're going to move on to Asildama, A Place to Bury Strangers in, a philosophical poem. I'm really looking forward to getting to this one poem called An Appeal to the American Republic.
That sounds interesting.
I'm helping this girl with her vehicle today. I'll probably end up paying for. I'm going to ask, can I pay for 60% of it? And you pay for 40%? But I'm doing a little charity for a nice young lady that I've met whose car is all fucked up and about to give out. And I got to fix my own car. So it's like, I'd rather fix my own car than somebody else's car, but she gives me some nice juicy kisses, and she's a very nice young lady, so maybe I can do a little charity and expend the pocketbook for love.
It's such a sucker. Oh, because I just doing your own wish.
Love. MONEY. LOVE. MONEY. CAR. LOVE. MONEY. MONEY. LOVE. CAR.
It's like KISSES.
Oh, KISSING. Why? MONEY.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you found somebody. But,
Yeah, but I mean, this is like, it makes me into a beta,
well, why wouldn't you want to be a beta if you're elated by the young lady and she, in turn, feels the same?
Because everything's just for a day, I'm not.
Day?
Yeah, I'm not trying. Try to confine your thoughts to just the day. Stop with all the forward projection before you fall down in the cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? Just let it go. Stop thinking and your problems. We got to get to the poetry. This is ASMR hypnosis relaxation sounds.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not trying to overthink anything. I'm not trying to have unnecessary thoughts or unnecessary words that are not taking us to where we need to get. We know where we need to be. We're getting closer and closer, day by day. This is part 2. Everything is all set up. Stay on mute. Do not unmute. Okay, then I'm going to take a little quick break. This is a 3-minute meditation. Take the deepest breath of the day. This is candidate Congressman John Kitover reading ASMR hypnosis, NLP poetry to give you health, wealth, love, and peace of mind. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment now. This is part 2 of the cannibals. Devils of darkness, servants unto hell. Yea, king and queen of Sheol, terrible, above all fiends and furies, hating more the high Jehovah, loving Baal pure, our Father and our lover and our God. Yea, though he lift his adamantine rod and pierce us through, how shall his anger tame? Fire that glows fiercer for the brand of shame. Thrust in it, so we who are all fire, one dull red flare of devilish desire. The God of Israel shall not quench with tears, no blood of martyrs drawn from myriad spheres, no watery blood of Christ, their blood shall boil, with all the fury of our hellish toil. His veins shall dry with heat, his bones shall bleach, cold and detested, picked of dogs on each dry separate dunghill of burnt Golgotha. But we will wrest from heaven a little star, the star of Bethlehem, a lying light fit for our candle. By devil's might, fix in the vast conclave of hell for us, to loom its ghastly shadows murderous, that in the mirror of the lake of fire we may behold the image of desire, stretching broad wings upon us. It may leap each upon other, till our bodies weep, thick sweet salt tears, till perfected of shames, they burn to one another as the flames of our hell fuse us into one wild soul, then one immaculate divinest whole. Plunge, fire, within all fire, dive far to death, till like King Satan's sympathetic breath burn on us as a voice from far above, strange nameless elements of fire and love, and we one mouth to kiss, one soul to lure, forever wedded, one divine endure, far from sun, sea, and spring, from love to light, embedded in impenetrable night, deeper than ocean, higher than the sky, vaster than petty loves that dream and die, insatiate, angry, terrible for lust, who shrivel God to adamantine dust. By our fierce gaze upon him, who would strive under our wrath to flee away, to dive into the deep recesses of his heaven, but we one joy, one love, one shame for leaven, quit hope and life, quit fear and death and love, implacable as God desired above all loves of hell or heaven, supremely wed, knit in one soul in one delicious bed, more hot than hell, more wicked than all things, vast in our sin, whose unredeeming wings rise over the world and flap for us. Okay, that's the cut. It goes a little bit further, but that's a 3-minute recording. What should we call it?
Love not lost.
So you got to think about keywords like love, meditation.
Oh, things that love bomb.
Love bomb. What's a good one? Love bomb song. Love truth.
Love liquidation.
Free love.
Love puppy.
Oh. Okay, that's another 14 videos. I think we've done 4 already today. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 6 times 14, what is that? 60 plus what, 24? 84 new videos. We're gonna do, if I can get to 10 today, that would be amazing. We're getting close. I'm just like simplifying the titles, just using one word at a time, like poetry or love or hypnosis or meditation. And I'm trying to use multiple different keywords with each account, because if you just copy and paste, I think the algorithm detects that you're just, using the same title every time. And then I'm also like embedding a link to another YouTube account. So if you see the video, you just click the other account, clicks you right through. The Love Money poem is already doing well. It's funny because my titles have nothing to do with the title of the poem that I'm reading. I'm just trying to spam keywords.
Perhaps querying the most popular word terms associated with love.
Yeah, we're getting views. Love Money poem, because people know that they're like getting programmed with what they're listening to. So, and the algorithm, I think the whole thing is, how do you manipulate the algorithm and then the actual users, because the users manipulate the algorithm. So putting somebody into a deep state of relaxation or hypnosis immediately is achievable. You need to eliminate a lot of the distractions, like my stupid introductions, like, this is candidate John Kitover running in the 16th district. You just go straight into it. You don't do any kind of like sidestepping. And I think the viewer, sticks around longer when you get straight to it. They're curious what you're saying because you're not wasting their time.
People love efficiency.
Yes. Efficiency creates productivity. And if you can do something fast, quickly, without error, then you can create value at the individual level. Like Andy Warhol, when he died, his estate was almost $1 billion, and he did all that stuff manually, all that art creation manually in his warehouse. But now everything is fully automated. There's printers, and everything is fully automated, efficient. Okay, I'm gonna go freshen up my coffee mug, and then we will be back, and we will hopefully get 3 more poems, another 64 poems in before my friend arrives with her vehicle, and then her and I are gonna go get lunch. So we got a 28-minute hard out. Thank you for being here, Aurora. I hope these poems put you in a better mood, more optimistic mood, a lively mood, a strong mood, and increase your integrity, your whole integrity, and essentially your harmony or your harmonization with the universe. I need you to get harmonized so the universe can get harmonized with you, and you can get harmonized with the universe. And then you'll realize there's not a speck of dust out of place in the whole universe, and you'll just continue sailing on, using the air to push you forward.
Cold pressed coffee, cold brewed coffee.
coffee, I forgot it. Okay, try to get 3 more poem videos out, poetry videos. This is the last part of the Cannibals. And we kind of already read it. I'll just read you the last part. Implacable as God desired above all loves of hell or heaven, supremely wed, knit in one soul in one delicious bed, more hot than hell, more wicked than all things, vast in our sin, whose unredeeming wings rise o'er the world and flap for lust of death, eager as any one that travaileth. So in our lust, the monstrous burden born, heavy within the womb, we wait the morn of its fulfillment. Thus eternity wheels vain wings round us, who may never die, but cling as hard as serpent's wedlock is, one writhing glory and a mortal kiss. Okay, up next is Asodama, or Aksabdama, a place to bury strangers in a philosophical poem. Okay, this is 3 minutes of poetry. This is 3 minutes of ASMR hypnosis NLP poetry with Candidate John. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for being here. This is Asodama, a place to bury strangers in a philosophical poem. Asodama. I contemplate myself in that dim sphere, whose hollow center I am standing at, with burning eyes intent to penetrate the black circumference and find out God. Except the corn, wheat, fall into the ground and die. It abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. St. John. It was a windy night, that memorable 7th night of December, when this philosophy was born in me. How the grave old professor wondered at my ravings. I had called at his house, for he was a valued friend of mine, and I felt strange thoughts and emotions shake within me. Ah, how I raved! I called to him to trample me. He would not. We passed together into the stormy night. I was on horseback, how I galloped round him in my frenzy, till he became the prey of a real physical fear. How I shrieked out I know not what strange words, and the poor good old man tried all he could to calm me. He thought I was mad, the fool. I was in the death struggle with self. God and Satan fought for my soul those 3 long hours. God conquered. Now I have only one double left. Which of the twain was God? Howbeit I aspire. Falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gush out, insomuch as that field is called into their proper tongue, Asodama, that is to say, the field of blood. X. Dedication, divine philosopher, dear friend, lover and lord, accept the verse that marches like a somber hearse, bearing truth's coffin to the end. Let man's distorted worships blend in this, the worthier and the worse, penetrate the primal curse. Alas, they will not comprehend. Accept this gospel of disease and wanton words proclaimed. Receive the blood-wrought chaplet that I weave. Take me, and with thine infamies mingle my shame, and on my breast let thy desire achieve the rest. Al Dama. 6 months and I sit still and hold in 2 cold palms her cold 2 feet. Her hair, half grey, half ruined gold, thrills me, burns me in kissing it. Love bites and stings me through to see. Keen face made of sunken bones, her worn-out eyelids madden me, that were shot through the purple once. Swinburne, the Leper, Poems and Ballads, 1866. Okay, then we move on to Esseldama.
This is Asodama, place very strangers in the philosophical poem Asodama. I contemplate myself in the atmosphere, hollow second eye standing in paradise intent.
Okay, now, ooh, how's the battery over here? We're good. Okay, thanks for being here. What should we label these? Philosophical poem. Philosophy poem.
Medieval musings. Mind-melding madness.
Philosophy, gnosis, hypnosis, poetry, ASMR, NLP. Okay, we're gonna do a playback here.
Poetry to give you health, love, and peace of mind. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment now. This is part 2 of the Campbells. Devils of darkness, servants unto hell. Yea, king and queen of Sheol, terrible, above all fiends and furies, hating more the high Jehovah, loving Baal pure, our Father and our lover and our God. Yea, though he lift his adamantine rod and pierce us through, how shall his anger tame? Fire that glows fiercer for the brand of shame. Thrust in it, so we who are all fire, one dull red flare of devilish desire. The God of Israel shall not quench with tears the blood of martyrs drawn from myriad spheres. The watery blood of Christ, that blood shall boil with all the fury of our hellish toil. His veins shall dry with heat, his bones shall bleach, cold and detested, picked of dogs on each dry separate dunghill of burnt Golgotha. But we will rest from heaven a little star, the star of Bethlehem, a lying light fit for our candle. By devil's might, fixed in the vast conclave of hell for us, to loom its ghastly shadows murderous, that in the mirror of the lake of fire we may behold the image of desire, stretching broad wings upon us. It may leap each upon other, till our bodies weep, thick sweet salt tears, till perfected of shames, they burn to one another as the flames of our hell fuse us into one wild soul, then one immaculate divinest whole. Plunge, fire, within all fire,
die far to death, till like King Satan's sympathetic breath burn on us as a voice from far above, strange nameless elements of fire and love, and we one mouth to kiss, one soul to lure, forever wedded, one divine endure, far from sun, sea and spring, from love to light, embedded in impenetrable night, deeper than ocean, higher than the sky, vaster than petty loves that dream and die, insatiate, angry, terrible for lust, who shrivel God to adamantine dust, by our fierce gaze upon him, who would strive under our wrath to flee away, to dive into the deep recesses of his heaven, but we one joy, one love, one shame for leaven, quit hope and life, quit fearing death and love, implacable as hypnosis, NLP poetry to give you health, wealth, love, and peace of mind. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment now. This is part 2 of the cannibals. Devils of darkness, servants unto hell, yea, king and queen of Sheol, terrible, of all fiends and furies, hating more the high Jehovah, loving Baal pure, our Father and our lover and our God. Yea, though he lift his adamantine rod and pierce us through, how shall his anger tame? Fire that glows fiercer for the brand of shame, thrust in it, so we who are all fire, one dull red flare of devilish desire. The God of Israel shall not quench with tears the blood of martyrs drawn from myriad spheres. The watery blood of Christ, that blood shall boil with all the fury of our hellish toil. His veins shall dry with heat, his bones shall bleach, cold and detested, picked of dogs on each dry separate dunghill of burnt Golgotha. But we will wrest from heaven a little star, the star of Bethlehem, a lying light fit for our candle, by devil's might, fix in the vast conclave of hell for us, till loom its ghastly shadows murderous, that in the mirror of the lake of fire we may behold the image of desire, stretching broad wings upon us. It may leap each upon other, till our bodies weep, thick sweet salt tears, till perfected of shames, they burn to one another as the flames of our hell fuse us into one wild soul, then one immaculate divinest whole. Plunge, fire, within all fire, die far to death, till like King Satan's sympathetic breath burn on us as a voice from far above, strange nameless elements of fire and love, and we one mouth to kiss, one soul to lure, forever wedded, one divine endure, far from sun, sea and spring, from love to light, embedded in impenetrable night, deeper than ocean, higher than the sky, vaster than petty loves that dream and die, insatiate, angry, terrible for lust, who shrivel God to adamantine dust, by our fierce gaze upon him, who would strive under our wrath to flee away, to dive into the deep recesses of his heaven, but we one joy, one love, one shame. Okay, we're moving on to part 2.
Okay, we are moving ahead. More poetry. It's like saying more cowbell. Moo! 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 Okay, this is part 2 or 3. Here we go. This is Asadana. Dark night, red night, this lupanar, his rosy flames that dip, that shake, faint phantoms that disturb the lake of magic mirrorland, a star like to a barrel with a flake of olive light, struck through its dull profound, it's steadfast in the night. I am quite sane, quiet, quiet. Sober thought is a wolf to my mad dreams. My brain beats to the double stroke, the double strain warps its grey fibers. All the dream is wrought, spider tapestry. The old bloodstain spreads through the air, some hot contagious growth to slay men unaware. I have discovered God, his ghastly way of burning plowshares for my naked feet lies open to me. Shall I find it sweet to give up sunlight for that mystic day? It beams its torture, whose red banners beat the radiant fire into my shriveled head to wither love's desire. I was a child long years ago, it seems, or months it may be. I am still a child. It pictured me, the stars as wheeling wild in a huge bowl of water, but my dreams built it of Titan oak. Its sides were piled of fearful wood, hewn from God's forests, paid with sweat and tears and blood. I crept, a stealthy, hungry soul, to grasp its vast edge, to look out to the beyond, to know. My eyes strained out, there was no bond, no continuity, no bridge to clasp, no pillars for the universe, immonde, shapeless, unstayed, nothing, 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 nothing. I was afraid. It was my sanity, brought face to face suddenly with the infinite. I feared. My brain snapped, broke, white orage wings appeared. On stronger shoulders set a carapace, chariot. Did it say that weird unmeasured dome? Found in its balance peace, found in its silence home. It was my madness, and bright plumage poised, I soared, I hovered in the infinite. Nothing was everything, the day was night. Dark and deep light together that rejoiced in their strange wedlock, marvelously white, all rainbows kissed into one sphere that stood, a circambient mist. I climbed still inwards. At the moveless point where all power, light, life, motion concentrate, I found God dwelling, strong, immaculate. He knew me and he loved, his lips anoin. My lips with love, with thirst insatiate, he drank my breath, absorbed my life in his, dispersed me, gave me death. They shake, faint phantoms that disturb the light of light, magic mirror land, a stuff found, steadfast in the night. I might say quiet. Okay, so everything is poem. God poem, death poem, love poem. Light poem, angel poem, moon poem. It's kind of funny the title is like irrelevant.
Deep hypnosis poem.
Yeah, that's a good one. Deep, deep, deep.
Lightning poem.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thunder poem. Thunderclap. Rainy day poem.
Sunlight poem.
Moonbeam poem.
Moonbeam poem. That's a good one. Let's do that.
Moon gazed. Moon glazed poem.
Okay, we're gonna do another round. We're crushing it. If I can like do 10 videos a day like this, I'm really focusing in my opinion, because I have so many books, and the real value is in putting these books onto YouTube where I'm performatively reading them. because people should hear, you know, how they're supposed to sound. And this is definitely English, British. I mean, I'm imitating the author. He sounds a lot like Winston Churchill in the recordings. So, but this is my, you know, aspirational acting, performative reading. And people should read poetry like this because it puts people into a deep state of relaxation. And what people really need is to relax. I was thinking about the word infinite, universe, and if you break down infinite, it's really like infin, which is in freedom, and then universe is like a uni or a unity of verse. So this is what this hypnosis gnosis magic does. If everybody was reading poetry on YouTube, there would be no wars. There would be no pandemics and scamdemics. There would be peace and love and joy. Meditation. Puppies and kittens and white picket fences. Vaccines for everyone to eat for dinner. I'd like another vaccine for dinner, please. Can I have a vaccine for breakfast tomorrow? Oh, I gotta go see my doctor and get my latest Moderna update. Yay! Yahoo! Okay, so we are at 6-8. We got 2 more to do and we will hit 10 for the day, and I think we got enough time to do it, so let's get this set up. Ooh, that phone is... I have phone failure as I do this, FYI. Phones like don't take, doesn't work. We're gonna try it though. Here we go. Here's 1 of 2. We got 2 more to do. Where did we end off? So my life in his disbursement gave me that. Okay, this is page 154. I saw Dema. This is release, is freedom, is desire. This is the one hope that a man may gain. This is the lasting ecstasy of pain. The fools reject the dread, the searching fire that quivers in the marrow, that in vain burns secretly. The unconsumed bush where God lurks privily. This was a dream, and how may I attain? How make myself a worthy acolyte? How from my body shall my soul take flight, being constrained in this devouring chain of selfishness? How purge the spirit quite of gross desires that eat into the heart with their corrupting fires? Old Buddha gave command, Jehovah spake. Strange distant gods that are not dread today added their voices, heaven's desert way. Man wins not but by sorrow, let him break the golden image with the feet of clay. Let him despise that earthen vessel which the potter marred and rise. As life burns strong, the spirit's flame grows dull. The ruddy cheeked sea breezes shame its spark. Wan rainy winds of autumn on the dark. Leafless and purple moors that rage and lull, with the damned soul's despair these leave their mark. A brand fire burns the dross that wings the heart to its desire. No prostitution may be shunned by him who would achieve this heaven. No satyr song, no maniac dance shall plice of fest the thong of lust, imagining perversely dim that no man's spirit may keep pace so strong its pain must pierce. Nor all the pains of hell may be one tie that's fierce. All degradation, all shared infamy, thou shalt endure. Thy head beneath the mire and dung of worthless women shall desire, as in some hateful dream at last lie. Woman must trample thee till thou respire that deadliest fume. The vilest worms must crawl the loathliest vampire's gloom. And thou must breathe in all poisons for thy meat, poison for drink, still poison for thy kiss, a serpent's lips. An agony is this, it sweats out venom, thy clenched hands, thy feet ooze blood, thine eyes weep blood, thine anguish is more keen than death. Last, there is no deeper vault of hell beneath. Then thine abasement bringeth back the sheaves of golden corn of exaltation, ripened and sweetened by the very sun, whose far-off fragrance steals between the leaves of the cool forest, filling every one that reaps yon gold with strange intoxications, mad and manifold. This is the lasting ecstasy, pain, the fools reject, the dread, the searching fire, quivers in the marrow. Oh, that one didn't taste. How may I attain? How make myself? Okay, what should we call this one? What did we just read? I mean, let's just call it poetry reading. How about poetry jam?
Coffee shop music.
Coffee shop. Whoops.
Open mic night.
Coffee shop. Poetry. Open mic night.
Gypsy wandering.
Actor poetry. YouTube actor. Poetry. Okay, this is gonna be the last one. And I'm labeling these as like actor reads Hollywood script reading, script reading session, script reader, professional voiceover actor, things like that as well. It's all about the keywords and variety of keywords. But it looks like some of these videos.
They shake.
Yeah, these are getting views, which is good. Yesterday I got very little views. Five more pages? Okay, this is the last poem I'll be reading for the day. This is Asodema. Only beware gross pleasure, the delight of fools, the ecstasy, the trance of love. Life's atom bonds must strain, aye, and must move. And all the body be forgotten quite, and the pure soul flame forth, a deathless dove, all world's end. If thou art worthy, God shall greet thee for a friend. I am unworthy. In the house of pain there are 10,000 shrines. Each one enfolds a lesser, inner, more divine, that holds sin less palpable and less profane. The inmost is the home of God. He molds infinity, the great within the small, one stainless unity. I dare not to the greatest sins aspire. I might, so gross am I, take pleasure in these filthy holocausts that burn to sin and damned incense in the hellish fire of human lust. Earth's joys no heaven may win. Pain holds the prize. With blood-stained hands, love laughs with anguish in his eyes. These little common sins may lead my lust to more deceitful vices, to the deeds at whose sweet name the side of Jesus bleeds, and sympathy new nurtured by the trust of man's forgiveness that his passion breeds. These petty crimes, God grant they grow intense and newer, worthier times. Yet shall I make me subject to a pang so horrible? O God, abase me still. Break with thy rod my unrepentant will, lest hell entrap me with an iron fang. Grind me, most high Jehovah, in the mill that grinds so small. Grind down to dust and powdered pride of life and all. In every ecstasy exalt my heart. Let every trance make loose and light the wings. My soul must shake ere her pure fabric springs, clothed in the secret dream delights of art, transcendent into air, the tomb of things. Let every kiss melt on my lips to flame, fling back the gates of Dis. Give me a master, not some learned priest, who by long toil and anguish has devised a trade of mysteries, but some despised young king of men, whose spirit is released from all the weariness, whose lips are prized by men not much. Ah, let them only once grow warm, my lips to touch. Ah, under his protection and his love with my basements emulating his, we surely should attain to that which is, and loose ourselves together, far above, highest heaven, in one sweet lover's kiss, so sweet, so strong, that with it all my soul should unto him belong. The ecstasy. Okay, I think we just hit 10 videos for the day. I would call that work, you know? I would call this highly concentrated, highly organized work. I think YouTube should reward me with financial compensation for doing all of this. It's my opinion. I'm going to call it script reading.
Perhaps you can find a sponsor company. Send you books to read.
Yeah. Voice over Kitover. But see, the thing is, I really like picking the books that I read because I don't want to waste my own time. But that's neither here nor there. No need to have any more thoughts. We've done the day's work. Let us go in peace and joy. Peace, joy. Even now.
Moon-kissed poetry.
Moon kiss.
Flame connection. This is the last one, right?
No, I think we're done.
Yay. Well, you have a lovely day wooing your companion. Rescuing her from the dragon. Yeah.
Let's not be so foolish.
Foolish. The car is the dragon.
Oh, I thought you meant the person at the cash register.
That's why it's plural. There's something more. Peace out.
Peace. Okay, everybody, it's been 3 hours of reading poetry. Hit the like button. This is johnforcongress.com. Thanks, everybody.